Hello, welcome to today's Take 5. Today we are going to be in Luke chapter 18. So starting in verse 18, it says, "And a ruler asked him, 'Good teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?' And Jesus said to him, 'Why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. You know the commandments: do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not bear false witness, honor your father and mother.'" I'm just going to pause there to give you guys some history. So back then, rabbis were called masters or teachers. It was very uncommon for a rabbi to be called good because the word good was specifically reserved for God and God alone. So whenever Jesus asked him, "Why do you call me good?" it wasn't because he was confused about what the young ruler had said. He was really just asking what the young ruler meant by that and if he truly understood what he had just said. And so I just want to give you a couple little bullet points here just to kind of help you as you're reading this passage. So Jesus knew this man's heart. He quoted the law not as a means of salvation, but he held the law to the young man as a mirror. And basically, it was to reveal this young man's sin. But what does the young man say? He says, in verse 21, it says, "And he said, all these I have kept from my youth." So the man looked into this mirror and he didn't see his own stains or his own blemishes. He saw that he was still perfect and in good standing. Carrying on with verse 22, what Jesus replies says, "When Jesus heard this, he said to him, 'One thing you still lack. Sell all that you have and distribute to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me.'" Okay, so even though the young man had checked all of the boxes of the commandments, he was still possessed by his love for money. So it'd be easy to read the story and think that it just applied to like those people that have more money than they know what to do with, or those who are rich, etc. But this conversation can actually be applied to each and every one of us, and it's supposed to be that way. So Jesus wasn't asking him to live life perfectly. He wasn't asking him to make sure that he checked every single box in the Ten Commandments and made sure he did everything right, lived perfectly, because he knew that that man couldn't do that. Nobody can do that except for Jesus himself, which made him the perfect sacrifice. But he did ask the man to have a heart of perfect surrender. And that's what I want to focus on today. Because what the young ruler didn't realize is that everything he had, everything he owned, it wouldn't satisfy him. It wouldn't save him. Only Jesus could do that. And it's only in Jesus that he would even be satisfied. And yet, as we read later on, this young ruler left the presence of Jesus, and he left the presence of Jesus in a worse shape than what he came, because he saw that to have this, he was going to have to give up something he loved and held so dearly. So I want to ask you guys, what holds the key to your heart? What are you putting and kind of just saying to God and saying to Jesus, "Listen, you can have everything, but this part is what I want to keep." So he wasn't going to murder or covet or not covet, but commit adultery, steal, or bear false witness. He honored his mother and his father, but he loved his money. He loved to covet that. And that's what his idol was his money. And the reality is that we all probably have something in our own lives where we're like, "Okay, Lord, you can have this, but I want to keep my dreams. I want to keep what I hope for. I want to keep the fears that I have in my heart that, there's just no way you can use this because I've done that. Or there's no way I'm going to do this because I care about this more." And we kind of hold those dear, and that is what we are worshiping. That is what we are holding dear. And that's not what Jesus wants for us or has for us. He wants us to live a life abandoned. And so instead of leaving like the young ruler did, the young man, the rich ruler, instead of leaving the presence of Jesus sad, let's go to the presence of Jesus and let's just say, "Lord, like, I know that I'm not going to make the same mistake. And so everything I have, everything I own, everything I hope for, fear, love, dream, I give it all to you, Jesus, and I'm laying this down at your feet and I'm just trusting you. And so, like, I'm reminded of Peter whenever he walked on water. When he kept his eyes on Jesus and he trusted him, he was walking on water. But whenever he looked around, and that's when he began to sink. But he still had the faith to go out and know that Jesus was going to catch him. Same way a young child jumps off the sofa or the bed into their father's arms because they know without a shadow of a doubt that their father's going to catch them and God is going to catch you. And so I just want to encourage you guys that as you're going about your day, maybe ask him to reveal those things in your heart that you were holding more closely and have a higher pedestal for than him and his word and his people. And just ask God to reveal those things to you and correct them. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.